Hi, it's Abby Wood. My disability simulation was a rotator cuff tear in my right shoulder. I had an arm sling from my grandfather when he tore his rotator cuff, apparently. Um, I found this to be very interesting since I had never really been injured before with like needing a sling or anything like that. Like I've never had crutches or anything like that or broken my arm, so this was kind of hard for me to adjust um, because I hadn't had to deal with something like that. So going into my questions, um, I think that like the ADLs and the IADLs were really hard to do with one hand, especially my dominant hand because I can't really use my left hand very well. Um, like brushing my teeth, I can't brush my teeth with my left hand, and I couldn't really put my hair up, so I had to like put my hair up before I started and like put the sling on. Um, I also couldn't like get dressed easily with one arm. That's kind of hard to do. Um, and I think if I had some like adaptive equipment, then it would have been a little easier to do it. Because of the helping to put stuff on. I also for like the IADLs, it was kind of hard to walk my dog with one arm because she likes to pull. So when I was trying to walk her, she was yanking, but I had my left arm, but I had given blood with my left arm. So I was trying not to have her yank on that arm, but I had this arm in a sling, so it was kind of difficult. Um, Another thing I realized was um, I drive a standard car and I need to shift with my right arm, but my right arm was in a sling, so I couldn't drive my car going out. So I had to take my mom's car, but it was still hard to reach across and shift with the like my left hand when the shifter's on the right side. So that was a little difficult. Um, and so it was kind of hard for me to like not break the sling. Like I found myself kind of like moving it a little bit, and I tried to correct myself to like hold it still. Um, I think that this will help because like help me understand my clients because it is frustrating, and I got really frustrated with it because I just wanted to like move my shoulder. So I think that when I become a clinician and I have clients, I can say, hey, like I know that you're frustrated. It can be very frustrating, but we are going to help you find ways that can um, help you ease your frustration. Um, a class that helped me with this assignment was our adult classes with Dr. Bacon for the fall senior semester and spring junior semester. Because we talked about like rotator cuff tears and we learned about slings. I can't remember which class it was, but we learned about slings, and I thought it was kind of cool because when I got this sling from my grandfather, I didn't know how to work it. It took me a while to like really kind of put it on, so that was kind of crazy. And I tried to think back to my class, but it was kind of hard, so I don't think we saw that particular sling, but I figured it out, and thanks to those classes because of it. Um, the most challenging thing for me during this was I felt that people were judging me if they saw me because I think I haven't had like an injury like that before, so it was a little difficult for me personally because my stuff just fell. um because I hadn't had an injury before, so like walking around with a sling on and people are probably like, "Oh, what's wrong with her? I wonder what happened to her." Um, and actually, so like when I go for a walk with my dog, um, and I went with my mom, and we went up this road, but we have to cross this main road to get over to the other road. And one of my friend's moms saw me and asked her if what happened to me, like what's wrong with her, what'd she do? but really it was just for this project. So that was kind of interesting to see like people be like, "What's wrong with you?" So that was a little challenging, I think, and doing ADLs was also very challenging. um, I think it's important to keep in mind for my patients um, that self-esteem and like how they feel and their like mental health part is important to keep in mind when treating patients, because if they don't feel good about themselves, they're not going to want to work to do the stuff to get better. So I think that's really important. So for my dinner that I made chicken cordon bleu casserole. So you need ham, Swiss cheese, cream of chicken soup, chicken, 2 eggs, and breadcrumbs. Um, and then like you need a casserole dish, and then a frying pan to like sear the chicken after you coat it in the breadcrumbs. So I was chopping up the ham and the cheese, and my mom did the chicken for me because I had one hand. Um, but then I chopped it up, which was really hard, and I wish I had like Dyson to hold the plate still, and a rocker knife. What was it? A rocker knife would have been really nice because it would have helped me with that to like make it easier. Um, so then once everything is chopped up and you sear the chicken in the pan, you put it all in the bottom of the pan, pour the cream of chicken soup over it, and layer in the ham and the cheese, and then you throw it in the oven and it bakes, and it's really good. So that was really yummy. Um, so the theory that we were given in class was the PEOP theory, and I think that this like played a big that was very relevant to this case, because myself not having an injury before, like my participation and my performance was not like what I'm used to. My environment could have been modified to help me, like in the kitchen, my counters are really high, so that could have helped. And my occupations were definitely um, affected because I, again, wasn't used to all that stuff. And then I had to compare that to behaviorism. So that's like changing a behavior. So brushing my teeth with my left hand instead of my right hand. That kind of, if I had developed that behavior, that would play into the behaviorism part. And then some suggestions that I would have for next year's class would probably be like to have them do a disability with their like upper extremity, because it's harder, because you do a lot with your upper extremity compared to like your lower extremity, unless like you have a cane or something, that would kind of work. But it makes you really think more in depth um when you are using one hand rather than the other, and that kind of makes you really think about your patients more, um and like you kind of really have like a sympathy for them then, because you're like, oh, this is what they go through, that really sucks, but now I understand, and now I can really sympathize with them and like help them out in the later times. Okay, so yeah, that's all I got.